Hi guys, my name's Kelly. I'm an acupuncturist, Chinese medicine practitioner. Been doing this about 15 years, and I want to share something with you today that I made. It's something that I've wanted to make for a while now, some years, and it started as an idea in my mind back when I was writing articles for an acupuncture marketing company. So every season I would do a seasonal self-care article and just come up with tips and ideas to think about for that season to support what we call the associated element or just the energies of that season. So for anyone who's interested in getting back into the rhythm of nature, kind of supporting yourself through the transitions of the seasons, this might be something you're interested in. And for Chinese medicine practitioners, the way I kind of thought this in my head was I want to have a deck of cards to have in my office so that when patients come in during that season, I make them pick a card and I'm like, that's your seasonal self-care tip of the day. So they go home with that thought in their mind. So it's an educational tool for patients, for practitioners to use in their office, but also just a fun thing for home use too, to tune you in. You know, things happen so fast in this world. So just taking a moment to check in with where we're at with the season and with nature, I think it's a nice idea. So I always wanted to do this, but I didn't really know how I was going to make it happen. But basically the idea is to get these seasonal self-care tips in an organized deck, like a tarot deck, where you could pick a card out of that season. That was years ago, and this has been sort of sitting in that waiting deck in my mind. And fast forward to this summer, 2025, I broke my arm, and that was a blessing and a curse at the same time. All of a sudden, my very busy schedule, I run my own practice. I do group acupuncture for rehab centers. I have since stopped doing the article writing. It was just so time consuming and it's hard to keep up. But all of a sudden I had time. So everything came to a screeching halt. And aside from, of course, resting and healing, I knew I needed to be doing something productive, and it presented an opportunity. So it presented an opportunity of time, not so much money. All of a sudden, I didn't have money coming in. So I certainly didn't have money to hire an illustrator or a designer. But this is also the time that AI kind of came onto the scene. And I know that's a very controversial subject, rightfully so. But I did use ChatGPT as a resource for image generation. And I understand if that turns some people off, much respect. For me, it was a tool at the time to make this possible. And it wasn't like a, plug in a prompt and get an image. I mean, I had an idea in my mind of what I wanted each image to be like for each tip or card. And there was a lot of back and forth of refining that to get it to really fit the element, the season, and my vision for it. So it was a project, and it was a co-creation with AI in that sense. As far as the explanations for each tip and kind of going into depth, I've had that written in my mind for years now on my computer too with all of these articles, but I did get some help with editing. So full disclosure about that. And I did also get help. Thank you. Shout out to my best friend, Caressa, who is a graphic designer, because she helped me get these formatted so that I could actually get them onto the site that makes them, which is makeplayingcards.com. Pretty cool. If anyone has ideas like this, check out makeplayingcards.com. You can upload your files and get a deck made. Super fun. So let me show you what came out of this. And I'm really excited about it because it actually came out like I want it. I had this vision in my mind, and now I have it in my hand here, and it kind of blows my mind a little bit. So I'm excited. So let me show you the deck. It's a 54 card deck because we have 5 seasons in Chinese medicine, which we'll go over in a second. 10 cards for each season. That's 50 plus 2 wild cards. So I'll show you those. So 54 cards when you include the top 2, which are just the cover card and the little like instructional card. So this is the cover. Seasonal self-care deck. We've got the 5 characters for the 5 elements on there. On this side is a QR code to scan to get a 25-page booklet that goes into depth on every card. So just like a tarot deck, when you get a booklet and they're all numbered, you just look up that number card and then you can read the full description in the booklet to get more in depth and to get more insight. The booklet also has full instructions as well as a description of each season and its associated element and all of the meaning around that to get a better grasp of it. If you're not someone familiar with this, at least it'll give you that to work with. So things will make more sense as we play with these. Then it's like a how-to card giving you simple instructions, and those go into more depth for those instructions in the booklet. But again, this is just suggestive. This can be an intuitive thing. You can use this deck however you want. And I'll show you how I intended it for at least use with patients and just kind of how I was thinking about it. So we have those 5 seasons. Let me separate these out. We've got spring, the wood element. And that's, of course, the first season in Chinese medicine when the yang bursts forth. Summer, fire. Late summer, earth. That's the 5th season in Chinese medicine. And as Chinese practitioners know, it's not just about late summer. It really represents the transitional time, usually about 2 weeks between each season, when we need to come back to center and ground ourselves before shifting and transitioning. So you think about like a martial artist getting a centering stance before shifting again. That's what the late summer season is about. And then autumn, which is what we're in now, metal season. Winter, water. And then we've got the 2 wild cards. So how I was thinking of using this, and how I have been using it, is you take the season section that we're in, so we're in autumn right now, and you include the 2 wild cards, and then you just shuffle them up. And you can do this with another person, you can have them shuffle and then do a card spread for them, or hold them out. However you want to do it. Pick a card, any card. So let's say we're going to go for this one. That's the autumn season. What's a self-care tip for autumn? Donate old clothes. Funny enough, I'm going to be doing that today. So it says, let go of garments that no longer reflect who you're becoming. Thank them, release them, and create space for clarity to emerge. So autumn is about, of course, letting go as the trees are doing this season. And clarity, metal is very kind of structured and clean in that sense. And so that's a really good way to tune into that energy, to get rid of things you don't need, let go. We're conserving, we're preparing for winter. So that's an example there. I like this one too. Watch a tearjerker. Choose a film that touches your heart and invites emotion to move. Let the tears come. Grief that is witnessed becomes softened, released, transmuted. So autumn is associated with the lungs and the large intestine, paired yin-yang organs. The lungs hold grief and sadness. We need to make sure that doesn't stagnate. Anytime you've experienced grief in your life, Chinese medicine believes there's kind of a way that gets stored in the lungs. We want to make sure we move that energy this season. And one of the ways I like to do that is to cry by watching a tearjerker. I don't know what works for you. West Side Story just freaking gets me every time. And I sob and I release. But whatever works. I mean, I cried my eyes out to Mall Cop on the plane one time. I don't know. Whatever works for you. Get those tears flowing, you get that energy moving. So it's those kind of things that are in the cards, and there's much deeper descriptions in the 25-page book that you get through the QR code. And if you pick a wild card, so let's say, because you got those wild cards mixed in. We've got the elemental pull. That tells you, go ahead and put all the cards together, shuffle the whole deck, and pull a card, because there might be an element that you need a little more support for this season, even if it's not the associated element of the season. And it just might be something to think about. We all need balance with all the elements. It's a dynamic experience every moment, every day. So something else might be calling you. And then the other wild card is a go inward card, a self-reflection card. asking how is this season and its associated element expressing itself for you. So just to take a moment and think about autumn, metal, and maybe what you've learned about metal from the booklet, if it's new to you, but to consider what's playing out this season that kind of represents these energies, something associated with boundaries, structure, clarity, letting go, grief. So all of that, to just kind of take a moment and think about that. So this is a guide. The booklet's really good too. It's really easy to just click on the link and get access to it. I'll show you an example from each season. For winter, keep your ankles warm. Make sure those ankles are covered with good socks. We've got bladder, kidney channels that are the associated organs that need that protection, and cold gets in through the ankles in the winter and the feet. Not good. You want to protect those. I know, kind of random, but important still. So, earthing, ground yourself outdoors during the transitional seasons when possible, of course. Get your feet on the ground, get back to center, get rooted. Summer, fire element. Oh, I like this one. Evening stargazing. Gaze up at the stars on a warm night. Let quiet wonder soften the heart, settle the shen, and open space for joy. All of those little stars are that fire element burning and kind of reminding you of the awe and wonder of our lives. So yeah, I'm a cheese ball. You're going to find really cheesy stuff in here too. Connect through laughter for summer. That's our time to be social and really connect through the heart. Spring, wood. Now let's see what we got. I like this one. Observe the color green in nature. Take in the greens around you, leaves, grasses, stems, and trees. Green is the healing color of the wood element, supporting vision, vitality, and renewal. So, and when you go into the booklet to get the expanded explanation for that, it talks about kind of the wavelengths of the green light and how they hit the eyes and kind of wake up that element in you. And that's good for the liver, that's good for the gallbladder, that's good for just getting energy moving, just looking at the green color and the shoots, the leaves, the grasses, all of that. So that kind of gives you an idea of what these cards are about. Obviously, I'm excited about them. They came together almost better than I expected, because there were definitely times where I was like, is this even going to happen? I had definitely some snafus in the process. Thank you to my friend that helped pull it together for me and make it more possible to do this. And here it is, seasonal self-care deck. Here's the reason I'm making this video is because I am going to be making a Kickstarter campaign, because my original idea was to just have the individual decks available for print on demand through my website to link to makeplayingcards.com. But then I realized individual decks, to have them printed and shipped, it's really expensive. It's kind of a lot to ask. So they will be available that way in case anyone wants to go ahead and get a deck in time for Christmas. You can pay that full price plus the shipping. If you got money to throw around, go for it. I ain't gonna stop you. I do want to make them more affordable. So my idea is to do this Kickstarter campaign, and so that way I can order in bulk, because through makeplayingcards.com, if I get a bunch of them, like at least 20, more like 30, whatever, the price comes down each interval there. So if I can get enough to get that price down enough to make it a little more affordable, then I'll just order them all, and then I'll handle the shipping and packaging, because I'm excited to get these out to the world if anyone wants them. Hoping there's some interest and we can make that happen together, and then you guys can get them for a better price, and you can get them for your clinic, you can get them for your patients, you can get them for friends, you can get them for yourself, obviously, and have fun with them and bring these elements into your life a little bit more. Yeah, so all of the details will be on Kickstarter as far as how much, little bonuses are if you order more, and everything, of course, will be refunded if we don't reach our goal. So there's no risk there. It's not a donation thing, it's a pre-order. I'm hoping we make it so that I can order a bunch and get them out to you for a decent price. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thanks for hanging along with this long video. I'm excited. And this is Chicky Nuggy.